Hi everyone. Well, a bit of a surprise to those of you who maybe are not part of our Cook Vegan community. I'm coming to you now live on Facebook, and later on this will be on Cook Vegan's very own YouTube channel. So do join that if you can and subscribe. And I am joined with the lovely Nourished by Brie, as her social media page goes. But Brianna, all the way from Canada, is with us today. She's a registered dietitian specializing in plant-based nutrition, and she's going to tell us lots of things about what she does, why, and give us lots of tips on how can we eat vegan and eat healthy. So Brie, thank you so much for coming on today and finding the time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. First of all, tell us where, we know you're in Canada. I've just been learning a little bit of geography. So you're not in, maybe the most famous parts of Canada. Tell us a bit about where are you based? How can we find you?
Yeah, well, I am in a big city called Edmonton. It's just north of Calgary, if people are familiar with Calgary and the Stampede and in the big airport there. But I'm in between the mountains and the prairies, basically. So we've got, fairly flat land. So you can see the snow for miles. It's, good.
And you were saying it snows about 8 months of the year.
Oh yeah, and it goes up and down with temperature. I don't know if you go in Celsius or Fahrenheit, but
Celsius.
we were 12 yesterday, and this morning we're -2, and 2 months ago we were -40. So you dress for the weather and hope that we have a vacation to Cyprus planned in the near future.
We have the opposite here, opposite. I mean, it's mainly summer here, so it's nice to see the other side, because of course, winter wonderland, snow is beautiful.
It is, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about you. You're a registered dietitian and obviously a qualified nutritionist. So how did you get into that? Why? How long have you been practicing, and why specialize in plant-based nutrition?
Oh boy, good questions. So to start off, I went into university right out of high school, and my initial thoughts were pharmacy, but then I got thinking of why I was really interested in it. And besides, having a secure, stable job, there wasn't really much to it. And then I kind of thought, if I'm still interested in health, I might as well tackle the root problems and the root causes of these diseases. So I switched over to nutrition last minute, and I never looked back. It's been a really interesting and wild ride, going through the system. But at the end of the day, it led me to private practice, and that has been, my passion since, I guess I should mention too, I was working in a hospital for a while, but I've since retired myself from that to work from home. And I have a little toddler as well too, so that helps a lot to
definitely be busy mama. It keeps you busy.
Yeah.
And how long have you been plant-based?
Oh, I guess it was a transition for me, a longer transition. I know some people can do it overnight, but it took a little longer for me. I was about 10 years ago, I decided to be vegetarian, and then went on and off vegan for a while. And then finally, about halfway through my pregnancy, I decided it was, all in. And it's been fine for me.
Well, that's what I always tell people at Cook Vegan as well. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, and definitely not immediately. And that's, I think, part of the attraction of the Cook Vegan community. So if anybody's watching this and is thinking about, just being healthier, then do join Cook Vegan on any channel you want, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, because it is about just embracing, a healthier lifestyle. And slowly, it doesn't have to be immediately, and we're not there to judge people who can't do it all at once. If you're going to miss your cheese too much, then maybe slowly you can start introducing dairy alternatives. Or I know for me personally, I was a pescatarian for 10 years. I never ate dairy, so that was definitely easier for me to go vegan because I didn't have that cheese addiction. But, I was a non-dairy pescatarian. And then finally I was like, yeah, wait a minute, like, is this that good for me? Is this that good for the environment? fish feel pain, and then I started researching it more and I gave up fish and I've never looked back. I just feel so much better since I've gone vegan. Yeah, not just body wise, but also mentally and emotionally, and I just sleep better at night knowing I'm not taking from the world.
Right. Yeah.
But tell us about your clients. I mean, I'm sure not all your clients are plant-based, or they're on their own journeys. So who sees you and how do you help them? And what's your advice to people who are either transitioning or just looking for a healthier way of living and being?
Oh, let me tell you, that's the majority of the people I see. They're just interested in it and kind of dabbling in new plant-based choices. They're not interested in going vegan 100%. Some are already plant-based and they just need, help getting away from the processed kind of foods that don't necessarily contribute to health, but are yet still vegan. So yes, most of my clients, they say, okay, I would like to learn more about it. And then I present the evidence and it's up to them if they want to apply all of it at once or take small steps to improve their diet slowly. And everybody arrives at a different and location. And I always say health is a continuous journey your whole life. There's always going to be new research and new things to learn. And so it's important to keep that flexible mindset even from the start of, you take the evidence, you sponge it all up, and then you apply it as you feel it's going to apply to you.
Amazing. And do you give them studies to read? Do you tell them to watch some of the documentaries? Do you recommend any particular books?
Oh, it just depends on their initial goals, I guess. There's certain people come to me with that mindset of I want to live a more eco-friendly and perhaps for the animals kind of life versus people who really solely want to do it for health. And most of the people that I get as a dietitian want to do it for health. But yeah, definitely the advice and the education supports whatever goals along the way that they need. There are documentaries out there. There are good ones and bad ones and stuff that really exaggerate the science that's there. But there is science there to support leaning towards more plant-based diet for health reasons and obviously for the environment as well.
And we get asked a lot on Cook Vegan, and there's a lot of questions that come out from the community here asking about raising kids plant-based or raising kids vegan. A lot of people confuse the two, or they just put them in the same, obviously, bucket, so to speak. But what would your advice be for anybody who's, maybe worried about raising little vegan children and plant-based children? What would you say to them? How should they go about it? What are the key elements that they should be, careful of and cautious about?
Right. Yeah. Well, my little 2-year-old is vegan and thriving and super healthy and bright-eyed. So, it can be done. And there are certainly the things to think about when it comes to all kids. So we need to get enough calories, enough different kinds of food groups, and make sure they'd have enough protein and fats and starch and fiber in their diet. Whereas, when you look at only a vegan diet by itself, people get a little bit worried about certain nutrients like B12 and iron and zinc. So there are certainly food ways to get those things in. But ultimately, if you're worried, then consult a plant-based dietitian or doctor just to make sure that you're getting a well-rounded diet. So biggest things I would say is, when baby starts to have solids, make sure that they have a source of iron, but that goes for non-plant-based kids as well. And then also making sure that either mom, if breastfeeding, has a diet that's rich in B12, or that baby gets a supplement of some sort as well.
Yeah, definitely. I would say one of the things on my plant-based journey, and I've got some blogs out on the Cook Vegan website about this, was when I decided to go vegan, I did the plant-based nutrition certificate from eCornell, and I thought, right, okay, I'll do it properly. I'm really going to look into this. I'm not just going to, dive into it and make my family dive into it and not have at least some form of education. But still, as you said, it's just a constant learning every day. There's more to learn and see and enjoy. And of course, we have to enjoy our food, not just have this stress about it. And but I definitely would say B12 was one of the things. So while I think a lot of people are aware that we need B12 and we can get that from animals, but I didn't know before I embarked on this journey that actually by getting them from animals, by getting B12 from animals, you're actually just eating the middleman, because that was originally coming from the earth. You don't need to get it from animals, which is predominantly injected into that animal anyway. Right. And they're also, having going vegan, I just thought, oh, well, I could have enough, plant-based milks or nutritional yeast or whatever else. But actually, the best is to have supplements here or there, whether that's a small amount every day or a higher quantity every few months. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the best way of getting my B12.
Yeah, it's just your life insurance, really. So as we age too, we worry about having certain absorptive capabilities, if you will. So the supplement is there just in case. And there are ways to get B12 through food only. There's the fortified nutritional yeast, for example. But beyond that, if you don't like the taste of that, well, then it's best to take a supplement for sure. A couple of times a week, that 1,000 micrograms.
And also, what about iodine? Because that was also another one that came up, like definitely for me after going vegan. I was like, because everybody, the big question is always, where do you get your protein from? Which is laughable, because you basically can't be protein deficient. But iron comes up a lot, definitely on the Cook Vegan group, and iodine. Another one, which obviously is so important for thyroid function.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And to look at the studies that compare non-vegans to vegans when it comes to the iron deficiency risk, there's really no difference. So it comes down to planning well and knowing where your nutrients are coming from and knowing how to help the absorption in the best capacity. So it's adding that little bit of vitamin C when you have iron-rich foods, and maybe choosing foods that have low amounts of some of these compounds that compete for the absorption. As for iodine, this salt across the world is typically fortified, and there are some salts that are on the market, like the Himalayan pink salt and other varieties that they don't have that extra source of iodine. And for people who already consume a diet that's pretty low in salt, that could be something to consider, is either a supplement or having some of those varieties of kelp or seaweed, which some people are partial to, some people are not. But yeah, certainly also something to inquire if you need help assessing your diet in that way.
I couldn't agree more. That was part of my own personal journey. I don't have a lot of salt, and I try, obviously, for the kids, because there's 3 kids in our house and we don't want them to have a lot of salt. And whenever we do put a bit, it was normally Himalayan. Now I've started to introduce a bit of sea salt. And then, and I did have, definitely in my pregnancy, the last pregnancy, when the babies just, even if you're high on everything, they're our lovely children to suck it all out. So I got a bit low on iodine, and then I just reintroduced basically seaweed into my diet. I love seaweed, so I'm lucky for that, but I know some people don't. And what would you say about seaweed and kids?
There's these lovely little things called seaweed snacks. I haven't introduced my child to them yet, but that could be something to consider. There's kid-friendly versions of just about anything these days, healthy or unhealthy, but get them familiar with these new foods, I guess. And the best way to introduce something new is to pair it with something familiar. So if you can get them involved in the kitchen, or getting something else that they like on the table as well, it could be an easier time introducing some of these new foods if you are a family who is transitioning.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about your Insta account, because that's obviously where we met. And and I love some of these. You've got all of, I mean, everything we're talking about now is on there. So you do try and inspire people with different meals and ideas. And so yeah, where do you get your inspiration from? Is it from your own family? Is it from your clients? What is the message that you try and put out there on your social
good
media?
question. I don't know. My Instagram account is just there for when I feel like posting a food picture of something fabulous that I've made. And it's I'm not a mommy blogger, I'm not an influencer in any right, but there's certainly foods and recipes that I love to share with my clients, and when I experiment in the kitchen, I post them on my clients' recipe repertoire, so that they can choose whatever they feel like when it comes to meal planning. But certainly it's really helpful to see the changes in them are inspiring to me, and I've reaped health benefits from eating this way, and a lot of my clients, just from small changes towards it, have benefited a lot, whether it be proper weight management or reducing their diabetes medication or helping out to hypothyroid issues. Anything really can be somewhat remedied by a healthier diet, if not completely turned around. So it's really incredible, the power of plants and what the earth has given us to help our bodies along in this journey called life.
Amazing. And I ask everyone who comes on to Cook Vegan for an interview, so I have to ask you as well, what is your favorite vegan food or vegan? I normally ask favorite vegan meal and favorite vegan snack.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I go on kicks. For a while I'll do soups, or for a while I'll do stews or curries or this or that. So yeah, anything that's got spice and flavor, really, I'm down for. But I really am enjoying a salad that my clients that I just saw a couple of weeks ago, they're raw vegans, and so they eat a salad and a smoothie and some fruits and veggies throughout the day. But their salad that they gave me was nearly nutritionally complete when it comes to getting all the different types of nutrients and antioxidants and whatnot. So I've just been dabbling in making different versions of that.
Nice. So what's in it? What's in it? Tell us. I'm intrigued now.
And okay, top to bottom, let's go. Onions, garlic, flax seeds, chia seeds, turmeric, black pepper, bell peppers, carrots, grated beet, raisins, and yeah, a couple of other different vegetables.
Any grains?
No grains on this one, but they usually put like crushed crackers, like whole grain crackers on top. I've done pita chips and potatoes on top of that. And then just adding a little bit of beans and lentils on top. It's so stuff like that gets you craving the real tasty, healthy food. And then I've also been making a Spanish gazpacho, which is actually on my website. So if people want to browse along there, that's available. And so it's really, really interesting to have a cold soup, especially as we get into the summer months, but it's really tasty.
I'm surprised you've got into cold soups when you're in the snow for 8 months of the year. It's amazing.
We had a good week last week.
And 12 degrees here, we'd be like, oh, inside. Well, I'm happy you mentioned your website, because it's really important. We'll actually put the link here as well, guys. So do check out Brie on her website. She's got really interesting blogs that talk about, now I'm going to be tested here, but really different facts, different I need to get them up. I looked at them earlier. Just basically different interesting vegan topics that you might want to look into, things that are good for you.
Yeah, plant-based and not. There's lots of different topics on there, and something for everyone for sure. Like I said, I don't completely specialize in only doing exclusively.
This was the one I liked about recycling. You had about obviously coronavirus now. My goodness, COVID-19. We've got just positive vibes. Sending out their different recipes, nutritional trends. And just obviously having a baby and how you got back from that, which I'm sure, most of us mummies out there can relate to. And then having a healthy baby. So I personally loved all these topics. I looked at them and I thought, for me, that really kind of sums up the journey of so many of us, because one of my favorite quotes is, women can have it all. We're busy working mamas, but not necessarily all at the same time. We do put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We think, well, I've just had a baby, I'm breastfeeding, I've got a business, I can do it all. But we need to sleep, and we need to sometimes step back from something a bit, and we need to reflect, and we can only do our best at any given time.
Yeah, I do get a lot of moms and a lot of families who are at that point where they've put so much into their families, and it's time for them to take care of themselves. Because if you aren't feeling well, then of course you can't be your best for your kids and for the people around you.
Absolutely, absolutely. As they say, you've got to put your oxygen mask on first, and help others. So
yeah, I'm going to use that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and what you didn't say now, your favorite vegan snack? Could be a fruit, it could be a ready, I don't know, convenience bar, it could be anything. What's your favorite vegan go-to snack?
Yeah, well, I really like, I'm partial to protein balls, so anything with nut butters and a little bit of grain and chocolate chips in it. I'll down those in an instant.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying popcorn now that I can enjoy it with the baby a little bit more carefully still, but with a little nutritional yeast on, it's just can't go wrong with that.
I have to put some nutritional yeast on mine. I always just put, obviously a bit of sea salt, but also some herbs I love, like just herbs.
Yeah.
But yes, I love it, and I love that the kids love popcorn as well. And I actually think it's like a myth buster, because I think a lot of people don't realize popcorn is so healthy. It's a whole grain, and they just think of it, from like their childhood of going to the cinema and having popcorn bags and everything else. And obviously, butterscotch or whatever it's called, popcorn is not ideal, but normal popcorn is super healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of things that we have, if we choose them unadulterated, then they provide us with a lot of health benefits. And sometimes we just mess things up by putting oils and salt and sugar on them. But
definitely. Well, look at, the French fry. What an example.
Yeah.
We take a healthy potato, we slice it up, and we're like, let's just saturate it. I've also, I think the most horrific thing I've heard of that obviously isn't vegan, and they did that in Scotland, was a fried Mars bar, a battered, deep fried Mars bar.
Those are all too familiar over here.
Oh, really? I've only heard of this once, but I just thought, wow, how?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, shocking. But yeah, but it appeals to many. Okay, great. I think I'm all out of questions for you. I don't want to take too much of your time, because I know your little one is waiting for you.
Oh, he's upstairs cuddling with daddy. Rarely gets that in the morning. So
it's so nice. It's so nice. But thank you so much for coming on. I would say coming on Cook Vegan, but we're on first on my own personal Facebook group page rather. Then we will be on Cook Vegan, and obviously Cook Vegan YouTube channel. So if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, Cook Vegan, don't forget to show us some love, put some thumbs up down below. Definitely subscribe. I try as much as I can. I'm a busy hotelier, but I try to do as many of these interviews as possible, and also some really nice cook-alongs and some crazy cook-alongs. If you want fun recipes, but with my kids running around and just mayhem, then this is the channel for you. So press your bell button as well. And don't forget to join our Facebook, if you are on Facebook, our Facebook Cook Vegan community. We're on, I think, over 5.7 at the time of this video, so that's great, 1,000 people, and all active members, so it's really great. And we will see you all soon. And of course, Bree, so Nourished by Bree, she's on Facebook, she's on Instagram. Wherever we're posting this video, we'll try and put her links below, and you can find her on all sorts of social media. Bree, you do also consultations obviously online as well, don't you?
Right. Yeah. I'm in the Yeah, I'm in the throes of releasing a new program, which is going to be a little bit more intensive for the learning, but is all the details are also available on there too. So people are interested, for sure, give me a shout out, and we can even do a short interview and see if we're a good fit together.
That's amazing. That's such a nice point, actually, because a lot of people, it's such a personal, it's almost like going to a psychologist. It's so personal to find the right person to help you on your health journey, because it doesn't get more up close and personal than your health.
No.
And your weight and what you're eating and what you're doing, and you really need to find someone who you do click with and who understands you. And from talking to you, you are a very understanding person, so I'm sure you can help many, many people. So that's great that they can have that kind of chance to have a personal one-on-one chat, and then see how they can move forward from there with whatever their lifestyle is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great, amazing. And one more final thing from me, don't forget to check out my book. It is on most Amazons, and it's also on my website, which is www.cook-vegan.com. I have a free ebook, which is a starter ebook if you're thinking about going plant-based. It has 10 really yummy recipes. And I have another book that is sold as an ebook version for only €7, $6.99, and a printed one as well, so you can get the actual physical copy. Until the middle of May this year, which we're in 2021 now, all proceeds from that are going to help a charity, Alquionides. And yeah, so until that time, so please do support. And if you do buy it on Amazon, please write a review for me. So I really appreciate that. Maybe Brie, you can tell your clients as well. They're really easy and fun recipes, and they're all healthy.
Awesome. I'm always looking for more recipes, especially Mediterranean ones.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Mediterranean ones there, and they're just tasty. I like to think of, it's vegan food for non-vegans.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you all soon, either at Nourished by Brie or at Cook Vegan. Over and out from us here. Bye.